So let's talk about the attack speed buff. I said a few times that it was useless, but the in-hand basic damage increase I think will make things a lot better.
Yeah.
Maybe not for clear times, but it will definitely help for boxing scenarios, meaning whoever has this definitely has the upper hand in terms of boxing. Putting this on a person like, I would say, Apollo, makes Apollo really, really strong thanks to Audacity.
I think it just means like you're gonna see this buff like heavily invade it now. Like there's gonna be more contestants for like this buff.
Yeah.
Because before it was like when my attacks we got invaded, I was like, that sucks, but it doesn't really,
I lost
mean that much
experience.
to
I
me.
didn't lose the
I lost.
buff.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, yeah, I lost my experience now. I didn't go, oh, I lost,
With blue
my
buff, it's
boxing
crap. I
potential.
don't have a way to clear now. And it,
Yeah.
it will probably not feel as bad, but it will definitely hurt a little more than it does now.
Yeah.
Um, Camp spawns, apparently they were not retargeting a valid target within range. I complained about that a few days ago. Apparently they didn't even know that was happening. So it's good that I went into the office the other day. Same thing is where it says significant improvements are being made to the spawning sequence for jungle camps. I got like really flustered. I'm like, God, they spawn at 12 seconds now. And then Scott was like, so? I'm like, Scott, they spawn at 12 seconds instead of 10 seconds. And he goes, so? I'm like, now I miss at minimum 1.5 creeps every time I go to lane. Like, and that's if you're perfect. Like, you will miss 3 or 4 creeps, like, on average. And he goes, because of 2 seconds? I'm like, yeah, crazy guy. It's really important. So he's like, wow, okay. He didn't realize it was affecting them that much. So they're going to try to make it. I think that the whole thing was we're going to try to have it set at 8 seconds they spawn and start doing their stupid dance. And I did tell them about the Loki glitch because I have to.
Yeah.
Rip.
A
Mid Harpy camps. This is really big. This is probably the biggest
I don't like
change.
it.
I'm not a big fan of this. I don't understand why you would want this. Granted, I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know if it's fine. I am going to give it some time. We'll sit and we'll talk about some opening gambit stuff in a little while. But for right now, this just seems like invades are now too risky because your team's not getting as much experience, and this is going to hurt mid laners a lot. Mid laners were barely keeping up with solo when solo wasn't rotating. So how the hell is mid supposed to keep up early game now? I mean, that's just straight up 90. I'm sorry, it was like 280 experience in the trash.
Well, the flip
Granted, you're
side,
splitting it.
like people are saying, is like now everybody starts with equal experience. Like, granted, nobody invades, nobody does anything. People are like, oh, you start with equal experience now. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's not a good argument. Like, you shouldn't start with even experience. The point around the map is to create a start for yourself to get as much experience as possible. With mid camps being gone, invades
junglers won't be
become
5.
yeah. I mean, junglers aren't going to be 5 early. There's going to be less rotations. Junglers now have to sit in solo longer. It's just awkward, at least from a theorycraft perspective, without actually sitting down and going through it. It's just like napkin math. I'm not a big fan of it. However, I am a fan of the next point, which is lane mechanics. The time to earn rewards from tagging has been reduced from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. I like this.
I like it too.
I think 10 seconds is pretty damn long. And now, like, you still can tag them. Aphrodite still becomes very relevant, but it doesn't make it so you can just, like, tag a creep and then leave forever, which I thought was pretty stupid, so I like that.
Yeah, you like before you just tagged and you left and you still got the experience while you like were literally standing in mid lane getting experience from mid. So I
So
don't know.
what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move down for the item changes, and I'm going to start with Shield of the Underworld, which
Oh, we're starting from the
is
bottom,
no,
like
I'm just right in the middle. I want to go over this first because this will directly reflect a lot of the item changes. So, what this does is it's an active. It's one tier. It's 600 gold, and what happens is you were reflecting 40% of the damage back, right? That you take as true damage, right? Oh wait, now it's magical damage. It's not true damage anymore. So now it can be mitigated. Why is that change even relevant? Do you think the magical damage thing is a typo, or now you're mitigating the damage as opposed to the person you're hitting is mitigating the damage?
I think it's just like Nemean now. Or like you reflect back magical damage.
I don't understand. All right, so this is not that big of a deal. I thought it was way stronger than it was. I didn't realize this was magical and not total. This item is okay then. This hurts mages, I think, more than anyone. It did before as well. The life stealing, like this is the anti-Anubis item. This item exists almost entirely as a counter Anubis. Damn, that sucks. All right, so let's start at the top here. Achilles Spear. I like the movement speed increase. I think now this becomes a viable option for Kali, but I still probably would want beads.
Yeah, I don't know. This item's very risky because like you pop it and like I popped it in a team fight like against you guys and one of the in-houses, and I literally went from 100 health to 0 like instantly as soon as I popped it. Like,
I mean, look
I
how
don't know.
fast Purify was killing people. Now, for those of you who might not have seen the item before, this does increase the damage you take from all sources, I think, by 35% or 30%, one of the two. A lot. I mean, Scylla could kill you in one ult if you
I
pop
mean,
this.
I like that it branches off of sprint 1 because you don't have to fully commit to it. Like as
Yeah.
Kali, like do you want sprint like or do you feel like you can get this item later on in the game? Like
See,
I
would
like
prefer
that.
this. I still prefer beads. I mean, as Kali, you're building hand, and you can't build hand sprint. It's not a viable option on any
Yeah.
assassin. There has never been a situation where hand sprint was a good idea. Except for like the
No,
sprint meta.
you literally just if you're assassin with hand sprint, you literally just sit down and die.
You'll
Even
just
like
reach
with
in and die.
Magi's.
Especially new Magi's. So I think the only real use of this item, Kali can kind of use it now with Magi's. I think it's not too bad of an item. And then you can do what Moji came up with, which was Achilles Spear Teleport Crusher on like characters like Bastet, Bakasura. This would allow a very, very hard pushing split push meta. Which
You
could
basically
be
get
used-
Fire Giant from it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's really strong. You'll burst down towers in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah, the damage you do with that combo is literally like you have Fire Giant on you.
And if you have Fire Giant on you, it's GG.
Then like the tower doesn't even like you look at it and it crumbles.
Bloodforge got a huge buff. This is like an insane buff. A 400 cost reduction, or almost 400. It's like 360. Lifesteal small reductions, stacks reduced, but the lifesteal stack is a little bit stronger. So you lose some damage on this, and you lose some lifesteal. But honestly, it's really not that bad of an item. The issue here to me is if you build this item early, Dev's Gloves will be stronger 6 minutes after, right?
I think why they did this is because this item was like super endgame. Like you bought it like last
Right.
slot.
You
Like
bought this item because you couldn't stack Dev Gloves. It was too late.
yeah.
And
Exactly.
now it's supposed to be a fight against Dev Gloves. The only thing this does for you is you could maybe get a kill now before
DM, you have a
Dev Gloves is
subscriber
over.
on line
Also,
one.
sub, thank you.
I think I would like it like if I was a non-conventional hunter, like maybe like Osiris or like Chalk or something, and I was against like a Shibalanke Cupid. I think like instead of like trying to stack a Devo glove against them, I'd rather go Bloodforge.
So that you can just like burst down.
Yeah.
All right. Bluestone Pendant now gives 5 MP5. What does it give before?
15 or 20 physical power, and then obviously
passive.
you get mana. Yeah.
So now they're giving you mana and mana?
I think so. Like unless it's just if this item is just literally plus 5 MP5, it's fucking shit. If this is now like add to the item, that item's really strong.
That
Like,
item's way too strong.
yeah.
But if it removes the passive here, which it doesn't say, it will be useless. If this adds on, every single physical that goes into that dual lane must build this item, like
Yeah.
without a doubt. Charge bow. Now this is interesting. Every 4th hit instead of randomly, attack speed reduced as a result, as well as the cost.
I like this. I don't like competing with RNG because like sometimes you do mass amount of damage to charge, but now you're guaranteed to at least do something.
Okay.
So and the cost got reduced. So I actually really like what they did with this item.
All right. So Charge Morningstar got the MP5 added to it. I assume Transcendence will say the same thing as we scroll down. Yes. All right. So Transcendence.
Well,
now
the
a
Death Toll
viable
thing was
option again.
huge that you skipped over.
What?
Death Toll thing was huge that you skipped over, in
Oh,
my opinion.
jeez. Oh, I didn't notice this. Mana decreased.
It's the opposite of what needed to happen to that item.
Yeah, the mana should have been increased to 2, and the health should have went down 1.
Yeah, because the reason you would buy this item is for the health, and like, it gives the same stats as Bluestone Pendant, but now there's absolutely no reason to buy this item because it gives you 1 mana per hit.
Right, as
Like-
opposed to 5 MP5 plus the passive.
Yeah,
Again, assuming that Bluestone didn't lose the passive.
yeah, because they
Uh,
worded this really poorly.
So I don't think Death Toll is really viable anymore.
No, this item's completely garbage. If Bluestone Pendant is assuming it's added on.
Fist of the Gods goes back onto the hand tree, which is good because that item was literally the most useless item ever put into Smite. I think that's all we need to say about that. Greater Purification Beads gets changed from a 5-second cooldown reduction from down to 3. Temporal Beads getting taken out. I like this change.
So do I. I didn't like temporal beads, to be honest.
I like it a lot.
Because, like,
no one was building Greater for Purification. It was useless.
I
so
did.
You had to build. No, you had to build Temporal.
but no, the thing is, like, it depends on the team comp. Like, if they have Yanis, Athena, and you temporal the Athena taunt, you get put in a portal. Like, it wasn't long enough. The 1 second CC wasn't long enough.
You know, the argument made is like everyone builds them, they're too over centralizing, and you know, blah 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 blah. My argument against that was so is Flash in League of Legends, and that fucking item is the only reason League has any fun at all, right? And I think they took that. So I'm glad to see this back. I definitely agree that beads were a little bit too strong for what they were giving. So I really like this.
I think beads are in a really good spot now. Like, 5 seconds was too much. 3 seconds is fun, as you were saying.
I'm going to give a little bit of a leak here. I'm not going to tell you what. All I can say is Aegis is not on this list from what I see. And there is a very awesome Aegis thing that they're testing. So it looks like it didn't make it in just yet. So all I can say is that they are working on Aegis. They know it fucking sucks. And if it goes through the way that Scott was planning, expect that you'll be picking up Aegis a lot. It's really high level stuff. Really important. Hydra's Lament and Hydra Star are still garbage. Don't buy them. I don't think anything needs to be said after that.
What is this next item? Is this a new item?
Lotus Crown. No, it was already in. Any gods affected by your heal gain the protections, cannot be cast in the same thing. And then decrease the cost down to 2100. That makes it pretty enticing. It has some magical power on it, and I think physical protection. Not 100% sure though. Still.
Mannequin got removed. Now, Magi's Blessing. Does that mean like it no longer blocks CC?
No, the bubble's still there, but now there was a 40% crowd control reduction on it as well.
That's still not what I wanted to see. I'd rather see the opposite of what just happened.
No, you know, I like this because when the bubble hit you, then the next thing you took, if you took a 1 second stun, it was 0.6. Like, you'll never CC someone. I like this.
I'd rather that it be opposite of this.
See, but with beads being better now, Magi's isn't as important. There's a cost increase. They took the crowd control. I don't think people understand how important that crowd control reduction was. I mean, it basically turned everyone into tier.
Yeah.
Also, I really hated when tiers built Magic's Blessing.
Yeah, I don't think they read passives or anything like that. So.
All right, so down to Ninja Tabby. A rather strange pickup. Cooldown reduction is gone. Physical power reduced. Added attack speed. Worst boots in the game.
I think this hurts Cupid's early game.
This hurts everyone's early game.
Well, no, like, I rather, honestly, the CDR on Shibalanka is pretty useless, to be honest. Like, I'd rather take these boots. But, like, now Cupid's early game is a little bit more hurt because you don't have the CDR on the hearts and, like, shit like that. And, it hurts in balance. Like, I don't know. It's really hit or miss with this item. Boots still suck dick in general.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The Ninja Tabby's horrible. Like, that is not a buildable option for me. I think the only person who could build that is maybe Kali. But even then, she probably needs the power more than she needs the attack speed.
I agree.
Odysseus Bow, same thing as Charge Bow. Every 4th hit now instead of randomly, which means you can actually set it up in a team fight. I like it. I don't know if we're going to use it or not. I mean, it'll need some testing.
I think you'll see it.
But I think people will test it enough to know by next PTS phase if we like it or not.
To be honest, like, with kin size getting nerfed, like, odds on like Kali, you might see like Charge Bow in his place, which I think the item's actually pretty good. It's just underestimated.
That's a good point. I mean, you still need to build chins on Kali. It's just now you're going to need to augment that attack speed. Odysseus Bow might be a good pick for that.
So with the spike from like the 4th hit and like kin size, it'd be nice.
Isn't Ichabod still stronger?
Ichabod is very strong, yeah.
Because it gives pen and 30% attack speed.
Yeah.
Polynomicon, doesn't matter what this says because it doesn't say it doesn't suck anymore. Still sucks, don't buy it. Runic Shield. Passive has changed. All enemies within 55 feet have their magical power reduced by 50. And magical protection reduced from 70 to 50. That's a major,
I think it needed
major
that.
nerf.
I think 70 was way too high for what the item was doing.
Also, don't forget this used to say attack speed as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
This was the Chronos item.
So it just reduces their magical power now.
Right. So this is actually a direct buff to Chronos, who is already considered top 5. Chronos now considered, in my opinion, not only the best hunter in the game, but I would say top 4 solo, top 4 mid easy. So Chronos right now, first pick, first ban potential all the time. He's incredibly
Kronos
ambiguous.
plays 3 roles, just like Osiris. You can put him in literally 3 of the lanes, and he does fine.
Yeah. Shoes of the Magi, power increased to 65. No other changes. Sounds good.
Still garbage,
I think this sounds good.
I don't know.
CDR is stronger.
Then okay, yeah, I would imagine so. The issue is that we're spending money on mana, right? Is that what it is?
It's like, yeah, you get mana and
250 mana. That's a useless fucking stat. You don't need that stat.
if they can remove that and replace it with something else, then I'd say these shoes are good, but I still think it's pretty garbage.
Okay. Purified?
What?
Shoes of the Magi versus Shoes of Focus?
I would still get focus.
Okay.
CDR, full CDR is just too strong.
Okay. Smithy's Hammer increased to where you can't buy Hand of the Gods anymore. I don't know. I'm not going to say this item sucks now, but I didn't like it before. Most of you know that. I thought the item was it was pretty strong, but it kind of hurt you in the mid game. I think now it's going to be a very unattractive option. But since you don't need to build Hand anymore, and they didn't change Runeforge Hammer, it means Runeforge is just cheaper. And since you don't need to build Hand because there's no mid camps at level 1, I don't see this change doesn't really do anything, in my opinion. You're still spending the same amount on Runeforge.
I see they buff sovereignty after reducing its cost.
We're not there yet.
I don't have what you just said on mine.
What, Smithy's Hammer?
Yeah, I do not have Smithy's Hammer.
Above, right below Shoes of the Magi?
Yeah, I have Spirit Robe after Magi's.
Oh, shit. All right, well, Spirit Robe decreased by 5. I mean, that's not really relevant. Still pretty decent, the item. Soulstone gets removed for being fucking useless. Sav increases protections up to 55, making it very, 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 very strong. This is likely, once again, one of the best items in the game.
Because they reduced the cost and, like, everything else, it's just like, I think this item just got a huge buff.
Temporal was removed, obviously. Transcendence becomes a viable option again. I really like the Transcendence pickup right now.
It's viable on Hunters again. Like, when they reduced the MP5, it basically just meant, like, you're buying this on Thor and really not the Hunters anymore, because...
Yeah, you're buying it like Hercules.
Yeah, who didn't need the MP5, but now Hunters can get by in lane again with this MP5, if they really wanted to.
Warlock Sash reverted back to what it was, making it a very big pickup again. Expects Cabrakan to be...
I think that's
stronger.
huge, because there's no pen.
Yeah, without pen, like, this item's way too strong. Watcher's Gift now gives 5 mana as well. That's crazy. Is
that MP5? Or, like, is it just 10 health into 5?
It's 10 health and 5 mana every time a creep dies near you.
Oh, it gives gold and... Oh, what the...
But
okay.
now you cannot get the last hit, otherwise you do not get those things. So, if you're in a duo lane, it's actually super beneficial to never get the last hit. You never want a last hit now. Watcher's Gift is now just straight up better than Mark of the Vanguard in every way. There's no reason to build Mark anymore. Watcher's Gift is now the only thing a support can build from a magical tree. Bluestone Pendant still somewhat relevant for warriors. Witchblade no longer provides movement speed, which directly makes Ares weaker, because now Ares cannot replace Boots with an aura item, which he was doing before. He can still build it early and still maintain relevancy in lane with boxing potential, but it's going to be much harder for him to gank. He will have to go into Boots. Ares, as a result, becomes much weaker, and with this not giving movement speed, Sylvanas gets much weaker as well, not even including the buff that we didn't even talk about yet.
I think this is an indirect buff to which, Wingblade? Yeah, Wingblade.
Oh yeah. Wingblade becomes huge now because it's now attack or movement speed, 10%
and CDR.
0. Yeah, and
like what you're buying CDR on Boots. Granted, it's not as much CDR, but now like Wingblade's giving you CDR, health, and movement speed, which Boots don't do that thing. Like I think this is much better than Boots now that Witchblade got nerfed. I don't know.
All right, so Warrior Tabby gets a 10 damage increase, but they remove the attack speed.
Garbage.
Useless. All Boots are garbage. So physicals now have no boot options. They went from CDR or Witchblade down to no Witchblade, no CDR, and now no attack speed. Unless you build 20 damage instead of 40. That is not a good choice to have to make. Again,
Pretty much.
Wingblade seems really strong.
Yeah, they buffed Wingblade by doing this.
This seems to me like I just don't want to build boots anymore. I would expect this is a direct buff in all regards to what is it, Talaria or Travelers? Talaria is the physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, Talaria will increase your movement speed and HP 5 out of combat, definitely making them the best choice at this stage.
He's from Dallas now better than Boots. Yeah.
I can see Warrior Tabby now isn't so bad on characters like Humbat who aren't using attack speed all that much, but pretty much everyone else is going to feel that, man. That's going to hurt. And 10 power does not make up for the 15 pen lost. A point of penetration is generally worth like almost 2 points of power, depending on who you're fighting. So this is a huge net loss for all assassins. All right, all hunters have had their attack speed per level and base attack speed increased. That's what it looks like. I like that.
They
That's
also
good.
fixed the Chronos bug, so that's huge.
He wasn't reducing enemy attack speed?
No,
Oh, Jesus
that's
Christ.
huge that that's fixed.
I didn't even know that. And he was already broken. Like, Jesus Christ. Flutter got fixed, so buffs the Cupid. Like, so we buffed the two best hunters in the game. Check that out. Hou-Yi, and a big increase there, which will help him a lot. Kukulkan fixed damage whirlwind over time, lasting 2 instead of 2.5. So it was still doing the damage before, and he was still pretty good.
He's probably top 3.
It's
like
whoa. Okay, hold
Janus,
on.
not top 3 mid.
Janus, Scylla,
Scylla,
Chronos,
Kukulkan.
Agni.
He's 4th. I would
think
rather
he's better
put
than
Kronos.
Agni?
Kukulkan.
No.
I don't think he's better than Agni. He
Agni's
might be a
third, then
little bit
Chronos
better than
is-
Scylla.
I was like, Chronos is 4th, because there's no way Kukulkan's better than Chronos.
I'd rather put Kronos in a different role.
I
like
would not really like a
ADC or
Chronos
solo.
mid. If we're talking
Yeah,
purely
exactly.
mid, I think Kukulkan is better than Chronos.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
but Kukulkan has mana issues, and Chronos literally has no mana issues. He can stay
That's
in
why
the lane
you-
forever.
That's why you put Kronos or Kukulkan in a certain way. You need Thoth on Kukulkan.
Sure.
Thoth and
Kukulkan's teamfight
Chronos
presence
Bennett.
is
Okay,
huge.
there's a bug fix here. We're going to skip over Neath. Osiris, apparently his tether was stripping away not only damage, but healing and mana. So,
What?
like, if I meditated with that up, I wasn't getting my full meditation for either healing or mana. And I had no idea. I just figured I was just not healing as much as I thought I was. Osiris was apparently bugged. I found out like 2 days ago. That's why when I fought, I was Hercules fighting Osiris in lane, I changed my playstyle up to not mitigate wounds during tether. Or I would do it at the end. It was actually kind of crazy. This is probably the biggest nerf
Sylvanas is
here.
dead.
Wisps now only affect gods, which means you're not healing the lane anymore. Without Midas boots in the game, Sylvanas likely is bottom 3 supports, maybe the worst.
I'd rather Hades.
Yeah, I would definitely rather Hades at this point.
Because the
I-
problem is, like,
Just don't see why you would want this.
you can still out heal your opponent, but then the creeps aren't gonna die, so the creeps are just gonna spike you right back down. Like,
And
that's
there's
the
no way for
problem
Sylvanas
with
to
it.
clear now, because if you're close enough to throw auto attacks, you're going to get punished. If you're healing just, your back line, which is you and your partner, then the damage doesn't matter because it's going to overcap on healing because you're not doing damage to each other. If you walk up to try to heal the enemy wave and do damage, you're going to die.
Yeah.
This is a huge nerf. Uller gets small increases, just like every other hunter. Hou-Yi got a 0.5 increase to start, 0.05. Shibalanke got a 0.12 increase to base.
He doesn't need anything else.
Like, that is so huge. I'm going to refresh here to see if anything else popped up.
He doesn't get the as level scaling though that the other ones got. So
He doesn't need it. If he had that, he would be the best hunter in the game over Cupid.
Right, Shibalanke, I would say, is already what was
Top
top
10.
3 in the last phase. Now we'll need
Bas-
a little bit more testing, but he seems really strong still.
Cupid has, like, the thing between Cupid and Shibalanke, Cupid has insane, like, objective, like, I'm going to cripple you at this gold fury, where Shibalanke, like, has just entire map presence. Like,
Right.
they're both very strong hunters. They're definitely top 2.
It's just that Cupid can go, here, heal yourself and give me all of my mana.
Oh yeah, his hearts heal for 300 as well.
It's like
It's
if
huge.
you have full stacks and maxed it out, it's like a 600 heal.
He's basically raw because like in the PTS, when we took like a T2 and like everybody was low for Fire Giant, it's like, hey guys, I pressed my 2 button, we can Fire Giant now. Like he's raw as a hunter.
It's rough. Overall, a rather curious patch. Shoutouts to mannequins being gone. I mean, that's all that really matters, right? The rest we'll learn. Otherwise, major points, we'll just recap real quick. Mid harpies have been changed. That's very important. Tagging has been changed. Very important. Achilles Spear, probably still not great. Fist of the Gods is back, thank the Lord. It is no longer the most useless item of the game. Magi's got a small nerf, but it's still more relevant than people are saying. Again, mannequins are gone. Beads are back, which is really important. Boots still pretty much suck across the board. Sovereignty really strong again. Can't build Smithy's Hammer, but with the nerf to the Harpies doesn't really matter. Or rather, can't build it with Hand of the Gods. And then Sylvanas is dead, and Kronos and Cupid are still OP. Anything else that needs to be added to that recap?
Nope.
Rip Witchblade, I think
so.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bluestone Pendant might be even more OP.
Yeah, I don't even like. That's not even English. I don't even understand how this happened. So yeah, it'll be cool to check out the PTS tonight. Hopefully it launches soon. We'll see you then. So I'm gonna stop this for now. Bye everybody.